So what's up, everybody? I wanted to make a video about male role models. The reason I wanted to make a video about male role models is because guys I've met who were having issues with different things in life, a lot of them just didn't have fathers in their life, or they had poor male role models. So let's talk about how these things can change who we are, right? So I grew up with my dad. My dad always worked. He had a wife. He had all his kids. And he always worked. And that's all I saw when I was growing up. My dad go to work every day. And he was very professional and just handled his business. He was very adult-like, very just business-oriented, and very just handled his business. So that's kind of what I grew up with. That's what I grew up with in the house. Then I got into college and used to hang out with this group of Latino guys. All of them had jobs, all of them had cars, all of them had girlfriends because they could support themselves and do things for the girl and have sustainable relationships. So that's kind of, what I grew up seeing. Farther into college, met a couple more guys. Now, they were ladies' men, and like I said, we don't really talk about hooking up with women on this channel, but what they did do is they had jobs and they had something going for them. And one of my friends, he was 18 and he was still living at home, but he worked hard at school and worked hard to be a dancer. And maybe not a year later, when he was like 19, he got a job at a dance studio teaching. So it was kind of like, I had friends that they always just were men that always went out and worked. They always had this positive image, positive self-image. And, people, the image that they put out there and the character they put out there was really outstanding, And even when I started breakdancing, hung out with a lot of Asian guys, and they were really into school work, so they did their school work. A lot of them had jobs on the side, and then they would come hang out and breakdance. And they always had girls around, but they were always doing something. They were always going somewhere. They were always being social. They were always trying to make their life better. And so this type of attitude is kind of like what I see a man, as a good example of what a man should be like. And, going out there and attracting people into your life because of your positive, professional energy. And then, after I broke up with one of my girlfriends, I got sucked into the P-Wave thing. And, I was mad at her and saw these videos online for the pickup artist, and I saw Mystery. And Mystery was just a guy that was still living at home with his parents, and he was going out to nightclubs picking up girls every day. And one day, he got so famous for it that he was basically making a business out of it. And this was like rare, you're still living at home, going to the nightclubs every day, picking up girls, whatever. And you made a business out of this. This was rare. And I hooked up with another guy, did the same thing, and still living in his mom's house, no job, walking around trying to be a pickup artist. And I used to follow him around. And I dropped all of my other role models and followed around these kind of men. After that, I got connected with certain religious groups that we're not going to talk about. And, all it was Bible study and go out there and try to bring in more people. But they weren't very social, except for the people in their little religious circle. And none of them really had jobs. They just kind of like studied this, that, and the other, had their parents take care of them, had these dreams of being, doing religious work, and that was it. But they didn't really put anything out there. You know what I'm saying? So when I graduated college, I had to get a job. And so I had dropped all of those male role models that I've had before out of my life, and I went and got back to my old habit, my old role models who actually worked and did something. And so I ended up losing a lot of weight, ended up working 2 jobs, saving up some money, you know, saving up to come out to New York. And then when I got out here, you know, I kind of started, you know, networking again, dating, being social. And then I got 2 jobs now, and people have asked me, you know, to help them out. So it was kind of like, okay, you know, I'll help you out. So that's what I want to tell you guys about, is like, try to find good role models in your life, right? Men are supposed to work and, you know, do something, and they're supposed to be able to take care of another person, and they're supposed to be leaders and stuff like that. And that's what a man is supposed to be, right? A male is not supposed to be some pickup artist running around his club, still living with his mama's house, at his mama's house. That doesn't work. A male is not supposed to be some guy who whines and complains on the internet about how no girls like him, and, you know, how all the women in the world should die. And a man is not somebody who only focuses on, you know, these superficial women just to hang out and have fun. And then when it doesn't work out, they get really pissed. That's not what a man does, you know. A man is strategic. A man understands that a lot of those images of those girls is not real. And a man knows how to find girls that really want him, that really love him, and are going to help him do something about his life. You know? And you should focus on men like that. Okay? And one more thing before I go. Just like I said, think about the hip-hop thing and the rapper thing that I was telling you, because those aren't the best role models either, okay? Because it's the same thing, you know, sell drugs, get money, and you'll have all these women around you. Does a man really sell drugs? Does a man really profit off other people's misery so that he can be selfish and get a different woman every night? That's not what a man does, okay? That's not what a man does. So, moral of the story is man up, find some cool male role models, and become an adult. Be professional and go do something. All right, this is Jonathan. I'm out, y'all. Peace.